you doing, guys? Welcome back to Coffee and Juice. This is where I'm going to casually sip my coffee and speak about anabolics, TRT, TRT plus, and I also get into the world of plastic surgery. So what I want to do today, since I'm in a great mood, is that I want to offer up a pro tip. And what this pro tip's going to be about, it's not going to be about anabolics, it's not going to be about TRT, but it's going to be about your training. So all I could say is that I go to a multitude of gyms here in the US and also when I travel overseas. And what I'm seeing is a worldwide epidemic. And that epidemic is that everybody wants to be an influencer and everybody wants to be a YouTuber. And I don't even belong in this conversation because obviously I'm different. But what I'm trying to say is that I need you to do something for me. Instead of filming yourself, either you're 16 years old or you're 60, on seeing people film themselves, and I don't even know if I have a problem with that, is that there's something called intervals when it comes to how much time you take in between your sets of training. That's if we're talking about bodybuilding or we're talking about just about anything else. And the reason why that's important is that regarding something called hypertrophy or building muscle, if you take 7 minutes in between each set of flat bench, even though you're doing 2 1/4, 315, whatever it might be, you're taking 10 minutes in between each set to set up your camera. Listen, let me explain something to you. You ain't going anywhere. And you're not going anywhere fast. You're on a one-way ticket to nowhere when it comes to your training. So I understand that you want to be the next Mike Thurston or Mike Gotren or whatever it might be, and that's great. And you want to document and you want to show the world. But here's a little thing. Here's my little pro tip. And you're going to see how insane you are, is that you're going to buy a stopwatch from either Amazon or your local store. So whenever you do a set, it could be shoulder presses, leg extensions. I know some of you probably don't even do legs, and you look like you've been confined to a wheelchair for the last 20 years. So what I want you to do is that when you're done with your set, I don't want you to wear the stopwatch around your neck like you're an 80s gym teacher, but I want you to then hit that button, and I want you to see how long it takes for you to go back to your next set. So what I'm trying to say is that, and this is another experiment to really see where you're at, is that you should be 45 seconds to 1 minute back doing whatever you're doing. Obviously, other people have other goals. Maybe you're going a little heavier. Maybe it's a documented 2 or 3 minutes on this timestamp, maybe the most when it comes to interval training. But all I'm trying to say is that if you're wandering around, adjusting the lens on your camera or talking to a group of people, and it's 10 minutes in between each set, what are you doing? All right, you got the on-cloud sneakers, you got your whatever you're wearing with your Gymshark, and you're wearing a crop top, but that's a conversation, like I always say, for another day. But all I want to say is that when it comes to your training, it's a huge piece of the puzzle. Obviously, there's your diet model, and then obviously, if we're going to talk about if you're natty or you're not with your compounds and how to basically deploy them and the strategy behind that. But let's dial it back to the basics. And the basics are going to be, what are you doing when you go to the gym? Number one, and obviously it's apparent when I look at you and you're floating around the gym, maybe you're trying to pick up girls or whatever you're into. And I understand that's maybe it's part of the package. Maybe you go to a meat market kind of gym, and that's great. But what I want you to do is this is another social experiment I have for you, because I'm trying to create world peace here, is that you need to start timing how long it takes legitimately in between each set. Now, don't try to do it in your head like, oh yeah, I think that was a minute. Because what I tell you is that when you hit that button or that stopwatch, you're going to realize how fast 45 seconds or a minute and a half goes by till you're back training again. So if you're interested and not having the shoulders of a 12-year-old and the body of SpongeBob SquarePants or a Squidward, whoever you want to, whatever age range this is going to hit, is that you need to now, when you train, it should be a legitimate, there should be intention behind it, and there should be some type of practice that is executed that actually makes sense. Now, once again, if you're not serious, I can't hold you accountable. But what I want you to do is that if you're into self-improvement and overall aesthetics, you ain't going to get it by taking 10 minutes in between each set, adjusting your camera. Like I said, I saw somebody do it, and I said, you know what? Let me talk to my friends, which are you. And I just want to put you on to the fact that, listen, get yourself a stopwatch, get serious, and stop playing around for 10 minutes in between each set. Because number one, you're monopolizing the machines with your nonsense. And maybe a guy like me who wants to zoom through my workout and do real things with his life, like talk to you on camera, basically, this is what I'm trying to say. So coffee and juice, get your act together, stop filming yourself, maybe, nah, I shouldn't say that. But what I want you to do is take yourself seriously, work out, and time your workouts and your rest intervals in between. All right? So listen, stop it, okay?
Explain something. You ain't going anywhere, and you're not going anywhere fast. You're on a one-way ticket to nowhere.